This week on Coffin Fodder, don't open that door, because we're talking about M. Night Shyamalan's 2023 horror thriller, Knock at the Cabin.
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
I like to dissect girls.
This is God.
We have such sights to show you.
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
I see dead bread.
Even in hell. Oh, yes. Oh, no tears, please.
They're here.
Here's Johnny.
Hello and welcome to Coffin Fodder episode 41. I am your host, Mike Worthy, and I'm joined by the guy who puts a bag over his head every time he's about to be killed, Mr. Kyle Mickleborough.
Every time.
Every single fiddle. He's got his little bag in his back pocket.
Here we go.
Oh, here it comes again. And the guy who gets into bar fights just about every damn week, Mr. Brady Stilter.
Bottle smash overhead.
Yes, indeed. And this week we are here to talk about our first M. Night Shyamalan joint. Mm-hmm. And this is Knock at the Cabin, the 2023 film.
Yeah, kind of in the middle of nowhere as far as M. Night's concerned on his filmography.
Yeah, it doesn't really align. The only thing I think that aligns with his previous movies would be the faith angle. Because that's a very common thread.
In the
Shyamalan movies, like Silence is a great example. The Village, The Happening.
Yeah. I don't know why I chose this one specifically, because he's got such a great catalog of movies to pull from.
Well, he's only got a few horrors, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Like maybe 4?
Yeah, if we could name them all, you'd name
The
them.
Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
The Village.
That's the one.
The Signs. The Visit, and this. Probably just those 5, I would think. Oh, Split, actually, too.
Split counts as 4.
Split counts as actually 6. He's got 6.
Easily his strongest. But this one just kind of, I don't know. This is the second time I watched it, and I kind of feel like I felt the same the second time as I did the first time, where it was really cool and intriguing, but I don't know what I was supposed to take from it.
That's really funny, because I had very much the same conclusion that, I don't really know what the movie is saying, but we can cross that bridge when we get back to it at the end there.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah,
And it's not like it's super deep and hard to piece together. It's just I don't get what the message is.
yeah.
But we'll get there.
Yeah. In any case, yes, we are here to talk about 2023 Knock at the Cabin. This is a paranoid thriller, and you'd be amazed to learn that Kyle picked this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Paranoid thriller isolated to a single location with very few characters.
Yeah, it's such a Kyle movie. It's hilarious.
That's what I was thinking. As soon as I started watching, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is just a Kyle movie.
Yeah, I started watching it again. I was like, fuck, I gotta stop. I gotta pick something different one of these days. This is just a repeat after repeat of just different producers, different directors, different movies.
Very Kyle adjacent film. I was thinking right from the jump.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this movie concerns 2 men and their daughter. They are gay men, which is kind of important to the plot because it comes back repeatedly throughout the film.
Yeah, it is important, yeah.
And they're out at their little cabin where they kind of ran away to get away from the world. And a knock at the cabin happens, sure enough.
It's in the title.
Who would have thought?
It's in the title.
At least no one said it. Was that a knock at the cabin?
They should have.
And then they all turned to the camera.
It didn't even start with a knock at the cabin. It started with a large man walking through the woods.
Yeah, so yeah, the movie picks up. We start with Wen, who is their daughter.
Yeah.
She is in the woods nearby the house, gathering grasshoppers.
She's hanging out.
Yeah, and kid shit. Doing kid shit. Yeah, putting grasshoppers in jars and talking to them and giving them names and taking the stats down for all the players.
Yeah, this one's fast. Yeah, that one's slow. She secretly has an underground grasshopper fight club.
Got our grass fighter.
So yeah, and then Leonard comes out of the woods, really out of nowhere.
Right out of nowhere.
Just the dude who just comes walking out of the woods. Hey, it's me, the guy who's in the woods.
Yeah.
I'm up to nothing.
Nothing.
Don't worry about it.
But I found you.
Yeah. And I think this is Dave Bautista. I think he's really impressed me actually with how good of an actor he is.
Good, man. I'm such a fan of the dude's acting, and I'm not a fan of wrestling. I don't know the guy from anything other than what he's acted in, and I love the dude in movies. I don't get it.
I'm really surprised by how good of an actor he is. I think the conversation comes down to him. It's him versus John Cena. for the best, whoever the best actors. I think I would give Batista the edge.
Batista's under overall.
I'd say for an action actor, I'd give it to John Cena. But as for like more dramatic roles,
Yeah, I think he's got more what's the word? Charisma, maybe.
yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
Maybe more like a bit more charisma and a little more punch. But Batista, when it's time to go dramatic, Batista so up, I think.
Yeah, like because I mean he's essentially the lead of this movie. I mean there's other people that, like he's one of the more focused characters in.
He's the central antagonist.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's got lots of screen time, and he does a damn good job of it. I also, just because we're talking about him in Blade Runner, the sequel. What's the sequel? 2049. Yeah. He's got a short stint in that movie too, and I was blown away with him.
I remember he was beating the shit out of James Bond in Skyfall too.
Oh, is he in Skyfall?
I think that might have been one of the first movies he was ever in.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was the heavy who beats the shit out of James Bond in that movie. The insurmountable guy that like you see and you're like, fuck this. I gotta fight this. Fuck.
He uses it so well. So in this movie, he's maybe got a little extra weight on him, which is great because he's playing a teacher in this film, and so he's got kind of a bit of a fatherly role almost. And him with some weight, he's still fucking intimidating, but it gives him a rounder face and makes him a little softer, which is great because his acting is kind of subdued too. Yeah, so it's funny where he's such a large, intimidating man, but he can come off almost soft sometimes, and it's like it works really well for a guy like that.
I don't think he maybe only raises his voice like once in the entire movie, right? Like because he speaks into. Yeah, he speaks very calmly and quietly. He's the opposite of what you would expect.
Yep.
From a guy who looks like that, which is why the casting is kind of cool.
Perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he also says he's a bartender when he's saying
Right.
to everyone like, "Oh yeah, I'm a teacher. I teach sports. I do all this, and I'm also a bartender." So the aggression for being a bartender got
Both. Yeah.
Yeah, like the nurturing and then just yelling at people.
So yeah, Dave Batista as Leonard. So we start with Leonard and Wen. Leonard is first being, as Kyle said, very nurturing and seems like a really okay guy. He disarms her pretty quick with his charm because she's like, I shouldn't talk to strangers. I don't know you, blah blah blah. But
He's a teacher, so he's used to dealing with kids, right?
yeah, he works his way past that pretty quick, and then he drops the bombshell that her and her family are gonna have to make some horrible choices today.
Yeah.
And obviously, smartly, Wen is like, no, that's not like a normal thing that a grown-up would say to me.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then you see his friends walking out of the woods behind him, and then she's like, fuck this. Smartly runs. And I liked that when she got home, her dads immediately took her relatively seriously.
Yeah.
Because I find that so frustrating in movies.
When they just the kid is automatically just discredited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dad, there's blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, okay, you stupid kid. Hang on a second here. What is this, a horror? Oh, it is.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, they at least trust her enough to go inside with her
Yes.
while they figure out what it is. Like, they're not... fuck, that's frustrating in movies when they do
Well,
that.
like, oh, they're coming. And then the killer just slowly walks around the corner, and they're like, oh, no.
The dad's like, who's coming?
Yeah.
What are you on about, you little stinker?
Only we had some warning.
Yeah. So anyway, they barricade themselves in the house relatively quickly. Doesn't do all that much good.
No, obviously not. There's the windows and glass and doors everywhere, and you got giant Batista outside. He's coming in.
Yeah, they're outnumbered. It's 4-3, plus one of the members on the other side is a child.
Says you see that they're carrying weapons in accessory weapons. They've all made something.
Why makeshift weapons it's two weapons sort of taped together?
Yeah, all of them are like a hybrid.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah.
So there's a sledgehammer on a stick.
Yeah.
Like almost like a mace.
Well, there's a flail on the end of axe or something for one of them, and
A shovel is on the end of one of them,
weird,
like a Steers or something weird like that.
made for slashing, bashing, and poking.
Yeah, multi-purpose. I wonder if there's more, because this is based on a book. I wonder if there's more background on the weapons.
I wondered as well.
Because it's such a specific detail.
Yeah, and I didn't look into this movie too deeply, but they're very specific, and there must be some reason for that, because each of the four characters that we will find out about all have some personal made weapon that's been crafted in some way, and they're so specific and unique that there's got to be something. They're pulling from something.
Well, just otherwise, it's just such a bizarre choice.
Yeah, like it's clearly meant to be a symbol of something.
Yes.
I just don't know what it is. I don't get it.
No, it's hard to say. I mean, the biggest reach I could get would be probably the thing with Shyamalan, how he takes regular things and turns them into weird things. Like that's kind of his superpower as a filmmaker. Is like this premise is absurd.
Yeah.
But he makes it feel very grounded in this world, and that's how most Shyamalan movies are.
And that's exactly what he does that in this movie. Like he takes a concept that is, something that's quite out there and makes it a very approachable topic.
Unbreakable is the classic example. It's like you watch it and it's a super grounded story, and at the end you're like, oh, this is a superhero story?
Yeah, I love that's one of my favorite of his movies.
If I could fit that into this show, it would too, but I'm like, it doesn't fit.
It won't, unfortunately, but that is his best by a long shot. And
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But, and like you said, just the way he takes things and makes them something else, it could just be that they're all just, because every one of their weapons is something that...
It's dual purpose.
Yeah, well, not just dual purpose, but all of them, they're all fucking garden tools, like rakes, pitchforks, shovels, like you said.
Yeah, good point.
Even the blade on the bottom of one of them looks like it's a blade that you would use to cut weeds or grass or something.
Sorry, I noticed that.
Sickle shaped. So all of them are tools, which I think kind of plays into what their weapons are there for. Their weapons are tools.
Well, and you could say that they're tools too, if we're going to reach,
If you're going to go that far. Yeah, absolutely.
tools of the Lord.
Exactly.
As one might say.
Kick ass in the name. What is it? I forget it.
I kick ass for the Lord.
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah, we might as well introduce the other three people with Leonard. Redmond, who's played by Rupert Grint of Harry Potter fame, this is the first time I've seen him do an American accent.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, when the credits, like the opening credits started, I was like, Rupert Grint, why do I know that name? And as soon as I see his face, I was like, that's the fucking guy from Harry Potter.
I was a little disappointed that he was the first to go because
He's played very against type.
I thought so too.
Like the kind of hick, the small town hick.
I was kind of pumped to see him doing something like that, and then he's the first to go.
Yeah, I would have liked to see more of him.
Me too.
Because I thought it was just really interesting at the very least. It's so against type.
That's him. Yeah, and I think that's what drew me right away to this performance, even if it's short.
Yeah, he's not in it for very long.
He's also the scariest one of the four.
Agreed, yeah.
Well, he's the most business minded. And I think that like once you know that he's the first to go, I think that's probably reflected by that to a certain extent.
That he's the most aggressive one.
Because he knows that if they don't say yes, he's the first one who has to die.
For sure.
So that anxiety and that nervousness and that fear, men often...
He's hyped up.
Yeah, men often turn all their negative emotions into anger because anger makes you feel powerful, whereas all the other ones make you feel weak. Anyway, on top of that, we also have Nikki Amuka Bird as Sabrina. That is the nurse.
Yep.
Redmond's background is left sort of...
It's vague.
unclear.
At the start.
He also tells the family a different story.
Yeah, so Sabrina, I think the idea is they're sort of setting you up to be like, why would these people be here doing this?
Yep, exactly.
It's very much the setup. And then Abby Quinn is Adrian, and she is a chef, I believe?
Yeah, or a cook.
And a mom.
A cook and a mom.
Yeah.
Well, they all introduce themselves as what they are, right? A teacher, bartender, nurse, mom, and chef, and Redmond's the only one that doesn't really tell you what.
No, he's against doing the whole meet and greet, talk about ourselves thing. So he's very unclear. I think he drops a story about being beaten as a child or something like that. It's some sort of traumatic backstory going back to him when he was a kid or something. And
He says he was also in prison for a while.
That's right. He had just got out or something.
Yeah.
And that's why his name isn't the name that's on his driver's license. He goes by
A monitor.
a pseudonym, like a fake name, to presumably to distance himself from his past.
Yeah, I would assume so.
So yeah, those are the what we'll call the killers. I mean, they do at least do some killing in the movie, so we'll call them the killers.
Yeah, they kill somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, and then that takes us to the survivors we have to talk about. So
Yes.
we have Jonathan Groff of Mindhunter and many other things, The Matrix Resurrections. He is Eric.
So good.
And Ben Aldridge as Andrew, his husband. And then we have Kristen Cui, whom I'm assuming is a newcomer because she's so little, as a girl named Wen, which is short for something.
Wendelin, I believe. Wendigo.
And so, yeah, that's our two opposing sides anyway. From that point on, this movie's pretty straightforward. We can talk about the broader ideas. I guess we should introduce what the conceit that they're trying to sell them on.
Yeah, that's important. And I mean, that's sort of the basis. And like you said, it is pretty...
Why is anyone getting killed? Right.
It is pretty linear once things start going, but yeah, the basis is they give the family a choice. They tell them, the four of us have been chosen to come here and ask you three to choose. Well, they're only asking the parents. I guess they don't involve the child. Eric,
She could be a potential victim, I suppose, but I don't think she's not someone who could commit a murder.
No. They asked between the two men, Eric and Andrew, to choose which one of them will die to save all of humanity, but that they would be safe no matter what. So they could also choose to just not save humanity, it's save themselves, but then they get to watch humanity burn while they...
It's the Life is Strange or The Last of Us style in do the great thing or do the thing that makes me happy.
Right, yeah. Do sacrifice yourself for the greater good or stay alive this world. Yeah, but you guys...
Central conflict of the movie.
It is a big part of the movie, yeah. And the four people that are there, they'll ask them 4 times, and every time they don't choose, someone has to die, and we find out quite quickly that it will be one of the 4 antagonists that will die and inflict something upon humanity. Each time they do it, they say a part of humanity.
A plague.
Judged.
A plague is being, yes, like the biblical plagues.
Yeah, it's quite clear, and we can just say now because it's extremely clear very early on, even from the colors that they're all wearing, that these are supposed to be representative of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yes, because Batista's in white, and that's the...
He's death. Red.
Yeah, he's death. Redmond is war, that means...
is it? Sabrina is the yellow horse, right?
I think that's right. And then that would make Adrian blue.
Adrian's blue.
I didn't pick up on that. Like, I knew it, but...
They mention it later in the movie.
I know they do, the colors they're wearing, it didn't click in my head.
It's inside baseball. It's inside baseball. I remember it mostly from Supernatural, because they wear the rings. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse wear rings, and each one of them is a different color.
Yeah. I think a lot of people would pick up on it, and those that didn't, you'd pick on them pretty quick as the movie carries on, and they essentially say we are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Okay, so now that we're talking about that, their weapons, I believe, if some of the mythology around the 4 horsemen, they have makeshift weapons, kind of in a similar style of what they have. Like the scythe on the bottom of the thing, and
So that was my first leggy thing. Yeah, that was my first take, because these are supposed to be the weapons that the 4 horsemen use, but I've never really seen what they allegedly use or don't use, so
I've never been.
I assume that's exactly what it is. Yeah. It makes sense.
I went on Reddit and looked it up.
Yeah, good. Nice, yeah.
Yeah, basically, as Kyle said, that's what they're doing. The idea is they're saying, one of you 3 has to die, and they're not allowed to commit suicide. There's all these very specific rules about it, which again seems to tie it to religious beliefs, because in basically any religion, committing suicide is off the table.
It's a no-no.
It's considered very passé. So yeah, they can't kill themselves because that's the easy way out. Obviously, on one hand, we'll just be like, "Hey, fuck this,
fuck this." Yeah, exactly.
There, end of the world averted.
Yeah.
So one of them has to kill the other one, or both of them has to kill the other one.
Right. Yeah.
Which again, Ellen is a child, so she's not going to do much.
It's only an adopted child. Maybe that's the route to go.
Interestingly, in the book, it's her.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I haven't read the book, but I read the synopsis of it.
There's a book?
Yeah.
Neat. What's the book called?
Cabin at the End of the World.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I like that title a little bit better than Knock at the Cabin. I actually do too.
Yeah, I agree. I think that my guess would be that they didn't. It sounds a little too similar to Cabin in the Woods.
That would be my take. It already sounds too close to Cabin in the Woods. Well, it is a cabin in the woods. I always think that this movie in my head is Knock at the Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
Which probably tons of
good double feature in the order you want to go, because the second one.
Yeah, the second one's probably better.
Cabin in the Woods is a bit more of a jolly, fun time movie, even with all the bodies sitting on the floor.
True.
Speaking of bodies sitting on the floor, the first one's got to hit the floor.
Grint bites the dust.
Yeah, see, and this is probably my main criticism of this movie, is that the violence is so toothless.
Yeah, it's
pretty much all off screen.
It is. It's very tame.
And I feel like this is a movie about supposedly religious like the punishment from from God. I feel like the violence should reflect
You had a chance to
the ways to go more like the Bible.
Exactly. You had a chance to go biblical with the violence and the gore and passed it up. Oh, why?
Even the final death is off screen.
Yeah.
You just hear the gunshot. And I'm just like, what? I'm like, what the?
I don't know why. I mean, he's not above violence. He's not against violence. What's his most violent movie?
It's hard to say because
I think about it.
If you think about it, he doesn't really have overt violence very much in his stage. Probably the most violent I would say would be either Split or The Visit. Those would be the closest to act.
You remember his movies because of the intrigue that the
Atmosphere, the feeling.
and then because those feelings are so big, you kind of forget the fact that there's not a lot of outright gore, horror, violence happening.
He's more of an atmosphere horror guy.
Yeah, he does it. He does it well. I was still very suspenseful watching this the second time, given that, my memory is what it is, and I don't always remember movies after I've watched them, a couple of years down the road, but I still found this quite suspenseful. And I enjoyed the mystery of it.
I think overall it's a pretty strong, good to great movie, depending on who you're talking to.
Right.
But yeah, I just feel like I really think the violence needed to be more visceral.
I agree. Yeah.
Especially as we're seeing the characters reacting to the violence after.
Well, you're right.
That's a recurring thing throughout the movie is them struggling with the violence. The people who are there who have to watch and the people who are there who have to do it.
Well, it would have upped the stakes of the fear of the three family members seeing these brutal murderings taking place in front of them had we seen brutal murders taking place in front of them. You get all these wicked weapons, right? Like these are absolute crushing, demolishing looking weapons, all fucked up things. And then the killings are just a couple hits and a stabby stab, pokey poke. If we could gouge these people, man, what was the flail on the end of that stick for?
When they kill Redmond,
Yeah.
it's Sabrina and Adrian, both with their weapons, and Leonard is just standing in the background watching like he is death.
Well,
He's the
this is the final scene.
Yeah. You kind of see a little bit of their weapons going into the back of his head, but not as like a gruesome enough thing to act like you could show this to a younger person than they
It doesn't showing you really the actual action. You just see a couple of metal pieces kind of enter the top of his head, and then you don't really know who did what or.
Well, on the flip side of that, though, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, is these are supposed to be normal, everyday people who just were shown something and got plucked out of obscurity for no reason to do these deeds. So it does sort of check out that they wouldn't be into maybe bashing and gashing and destroying people.
I don't think that's even it. I think for me, I think most of the kills are very humane, and that fits with what their purpose is. Right. I guess they need to be a bit more bloody and violent,
Yeah.
because it's aren't even by it. The main one is the throat cut at the end.
Well, that's the worst one. And even like this very first one that we're still trying to talk about, Redmond, they put the white, bag over their heads. The bag barely turns red. Make that bag red, man.
That's what I mean.
Make it red.
Like when his throat is cut at the end.
Yeah.
There's that. Remember that movie I was telling you guys about, Cachet? There's a guy who killed himself that same way in that movie, and the blood just shoots across the room and hits the kitchen wall. And I'm like, yes, that would be more visceral. That's how this should be, because there's two really intense veins on the sides, or nectar arteries, or whatever you want to call them. I believe it's the left ventricle and the jugular.
Right.
The jugular, especially if that one gets hit, it's like a fucking super tiger, man.
Yeah, like it should be, his shirt at the end should be fucking soaked in it.
He's also wearing a white shirt too. Like even a little bit of blood would show up on that shirt.
But I mean, you give us the contrast, then use it.
It's just the kills are too toothless, man.
Agreed.
And I think it would be a lot better if they weren't, but here we are.
We're talking about it.
This is the movie.
Yep.
So yeah, Redmond's the first to go. As Kyle mentioned, he brought a little white bag that he puts over his head before he's killed, much like Kyle. Every time he's murdered, over and over again.
How many white bags?
Yeah.
How many white bags?
No, only brought 7 today. Yeah, he puts the little bag over his head, and then, as we kind of said, it's unclear. You just see a couple, the camera sort of positioned so you can barely see the top of his head. And then you just see a couple of the blades from their weapons go in at the same time, meaning that a couple of them did it for the first one at least. And then, they drag his ass outside and chuck him in the ditch and
Leave him there. Yeah, that's where he stays.
yeah.
we didn't also mention when they get into the house that
Andrew notices Rupert Grint's character Redmond.
he got assaulted in a bar because he got a ball over his head because they were talking about adopting a child. And, but then also Sabrina hits Andrew with her weapon to try to stop him from running to where he was running to, and he gets concussed really bad.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things they do pretty smartly in this movie, and it's another common theme of Shyamalan stuff is like the "is this really happening" aspect, or is this person crazy?
That's what makes it a Kyle movie. Yeah, it keeps that line pretty good throughout. Yeah, it does.
Because that's a running thing in almost every one of his movies. Is this real or is it not real?
That's probably why I'm such a huge fan of him. Is he does that so well. And, for someone who digs that stuff and just can't seem to get enough of it, he's great at keeping that tension of the is it or isn't it throughout his movies.
What a twist. What a twist.
Well, yeah, and it's because, as Brie mentioned, the concussion. The concussion makes you wonder, because he plays the role of the person who's kind of believing some of what they're saying.
Yeah.
Whereas Andrew's the skeptic, hardcore skeptic, who's like, fuck this, I don't buy it.
Right, actively opposing it and just trying to get out of the situation.
Becomes like their character dynamic. They're basically Mulder and Scully.
Yeah, just totally. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Also, with his concussion, like light sensitivity kind of is hard when you're concussed, and he also sees when they kill Redmond, a figure standing behind in the reflection of the light.
You kind of see it on the screen.
You can.
He's easily like it's not nearly as intense as what he says.
Yeah.
But you see like a flash of it kind of.
You can see the light in the mirror from his light sensitivity. I haven't paused it to see if it does show a figure.
But I thought he was just like it almost looked like a shadow.
Yeah, at the very least, he believes he sees a figure in the light in the mirror.
I think if they actually showed a figure, it wouldn't work as well because we need
ambiguity. Man.
Yeah, you need to keep it throughout the entire movie because it keeps going back and forth between things for their case and things against their case.
Right, and it's so a big part of the movie is the four horsemen trying to make the family believe, look, this is real and you have to make a decision. Regardless, the world's fate is in your hands. And so after they kill Redmond, they turn the TV on and show them the news, and it shows 2 earthquakes happen and the flooding.
Yeah, there's a tsunami, or is it flooding? Yeah, in places that generally don't have like crazy earthquakes like
They're
that.
like the first to go in an apocalyptic scenario, though. It's all the coasts.
Yeah,
Jet land.
Yeah.
So in an actual apocalyptic scenario, that's usually the first places that. I mean, theoretically, I've never been, but. Everybody's suitably traumatized from the first murder. And then, what's her name? His coping mechanism is so weird.
Adrian's?
She was like, I was like, what is she like? Like, who does she remind me of? And I'm like, oh my God, she's like Psycho Miss Rachel, man.
What do you mean by that?
Like, because she talks, like when she's talking to Wen.
Yep.
And she's like, hey there, did you want some breakfast? And
the way casual and
the way she talks, feel like I don't know if that was deliberate, if that was a deliberate pull that she was doing as the actor, or they told her to do.
Yeah.
But the way she switches back to comforting the child and saying, "Hey, you want some breakfast? What do you do at school?" And if you watch Miss Rachel's videos where she's interviewing kids and talking to them, that's very similar to. It's very similar to how she talks.
Really, just like the distraction to, or
just
that very
just trying to talk to them very much on a child to child level,
knocking down defenses.
Yeah,
she does say a thing to one where because she does explain that she's a line cook at a Mexican restaurant. Just, hey, if one of your dads ever come in, I'll make you a delicious breakfast burrito. They want one of them to die. They don't want a kid to die.
Only one of you is coming in. But yeah, so that's Adrian makes it clear pretty quickly that she's the next to go if they don't. While, as we mentioned, Andrew's starting to become a little less sure of what he believes.
Yeah.
Eric is still
he's doubling down.
Very vehement about fuck this, you're crazy.
Yeah, we're not doing this.
They knew that shit was gonna come on the TV. And that's the things that keep getting introduced throughout the movie. He's like, that news report would have been premiered hours ago. You could have already known about it.
Exactly. You guys all have watches in here. You've been checking your watch the whole time. You're starting things at a certain time. You guys are doing this on purpose to make it seem like this. Just to sort of play this fucked up game with us.
Yeah, a funny game one.
A funny game, indeed. Indeed.
So what I liked a lot was you don't know from the beginning. You think, oh, it might just be some crazy fucking murder people, and then like the farther the movie goes along, it's like, are they checking their watches because the visions are showing them the time of?
That was my read in the end. I
Might as well.
is that yes, the reason they keep checking their watches, they only have a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And they say is
They do say
that the windows are going to get smaller.
Yeah.
Every time we do one of these, it has to be a smaller window because the first time they give them like a full day, basically.
Exactly.
They let them go to bed.
Yeah.
Get back up the next morning, and that's when
It's an hour breakfast. Exactly. And then they're down to hours after that. But like you were saying, Brady, I mean, it's the way that these movies, a lot of my movies tend to do things is they leave that ambiguity out. And the reason I love that so much is that it puts, at least for me, it puts me in that headspace of, if someone sat me down in a chair and told me I had to do this to save the world or not save the world, where would my head be at? I love that because all I can think is like, would you believe them? How long would it take you to believe them? What would you need to see to believe them? Or would you just get up and start trying to take these people out?
And you have to consider, is this a world worth saving? Which is a central question of the movie as well. Is like, even if it is true, is this a world? And the reason Andrew has that approach is because they were victims of hate crime.
Well, and that's where them being a gay couple comes so much into it. And we talked about them being assaulted in the bar, potentially by, at this point, it's still just potentially by Redmond. We eventually do find out that it was Redmond, and he has a different name, and he did assault them in a bar, and it was likely because they were a gay couple talking about adopting a child, like I said. So
Yeah, it's because they basically won't lower their voices. He basically doesn't want to hear them talking about gay stuff, and he keeps shouting them to like fucking
hey, shut up! I don't want to hear that.
or whatever, and then
One of
Andrew takes it very aggressively. And he's the aggressive one in the film. And you see that part of why he's so aggressive now is because he trained himself physically after that assault, so that next time someone tries doing it, it's important doing that enough because he also has a gun for that reason.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is because of that he goes and gets a gun and like you said, trains and learns to shoot to protect him and his family from people who don't like them, and that comes into play later because the gun is in the back of their vehicle still.
And they have little asides where the two characters are talking, and sometimes with Wen, sometimes not with Wen, because how much do you want to get a 6-year-old in on them like get the gun plan or whatever.
Yeah.
When they're in the bar, Eric and Andrew, they're talking about the faults that they have because they're discussing adopting. They're discussing like, oh, you're too timid. Eric says so. Andrew, you have not violent tendencies, but you're outraged, and then you also like get physical or violent, essentially. And
I think he verses it something like you're easily provoked or something like that. He says something along those lines. If they're trying to do the proper therapy way of talking to each other, I feel they're very much doing the
Very much. We're done couples therapy. That's what it sounds like.
I feel like Kyle picked this movie because it's a similar movie to other movies he's picked, and he wants us to keep watching the movie.
And that makes me feel happy.
Yes. So Adrian's the next to go. Again, very, very off-screen death. I don't know if we see her death or not. Like Redmond's is like the most extreme one, and it's not very extreme.
I have a son, and he likes pancakes. Fun fact.
Anyway, smashed by Hayden. So she also has a bag, which like the level of detail between how they're doing this shows that this is like a plan that they talked a long time about and considered exactly how they're going to do this.
Or because shown.
Yeah, because the fact that they'll bring the bags, that seems to be a choice they made, in my opinion.
I agree.
Like, to make it easier to have to do the fucking thing, and you don't have to look at their dead face after.
Well, and that's exactly it, and that plays more into the fact that these aren't supposed to be actual horsemen of the apocalypse. These are just 4 people that saw a vision somewhere.
We're chosen for the job or not.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's Sabrina that says up until meeting at the diner, or else at the fork in the road, they'd never met before other than talking on message boards. But they discussed that they made a plan on from all their visions discussing what they're doing. So it's probably just them being, instead of seeing someone in space when they die.
Yeah, we just met on cultmaniacs.com. I don't know why no one believes us.
We should all go find a cabin in the woods, knock on the door, and kill some people.
Yeah.
Or each other.
We were just hanging out, talking about the apocalypse as you do.
As you do, shooting the shit.
Yeah.
I love that Andrew says, or suicide call. He's like, yeah, this is literally this. They just want to show someone that we're going to kill, like murder, suicide someone.
It's Jones. Yeah, I think he brings up Jonestown even at one point. I think he says something about Jim Jones or... But yeah, so Adrian's dead now. And yeah, this is the part where Andrew runs.
Because Sabrina's the one who cast him in the car.
And it's right, you're right, it's right after Adrian. Do they flip the TV on already after Adrian and show us what goes?
Yeah, it's not the planes, it's the other thing. The planes are the third.
Forest earthquake. Oh, no, it's a virus. I was going to say,
That's what the X90 virus, whatever they called it. X9.
Yeah, it's the whoops COVID.
Yeah,
Oops, I told it.
that one. What year is this movie?
2023. So it would have been more or less over.
Yeah.
But for the book, I don't know when the book came out, so
There's enough code.
could be a coincidence.
Yeah.
Could be like a deliberate thing. Who's to say? But
they also say the virus only affects children. It doesn't affect everyone. Just
Oh, really?
yeah.
Okay.
It's in the news report when it's like scrolling through. It only affects children. So they're turning elementary schools and schools into like quarantine zones.
Andrew does the run out to the car trying to get the gun. Wen snuck him a knife and he was secretly cutting the rope behind him. That was him who was doing that, right?
Yes.
Oh, she said it from breakfast.
Actually, she gives it to Eric, and it's Eric that first gets free and causes the distraction to let Andrew...
A chair or...
Yeah. What is... Andrew also gets untied, whether it's from the knife or whatever, and he makes his run. Yeah.
Well, he says his ropes are kind of loose, so he make a distraction. He also tells when to
do the thing you do at thanks. You did at thanks.
Yeah, and she has a little...
It takes you a second to realize, because you're like, this is way out of character for this. She's a very well-behaved Lizzo, especially considering the circumstance.
Then has her ADHD meltdown.
Yeah, immediately I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh, this is the distraction.
Yeah. Ugh.
So I think Eric says, when you see my head nod, make a ruckus.
Yeah, he does.
She does make a ruckus.
And then Andrew gets the gun, but Sabrina's right behind him.
yeah, and she gets him in the leg. Yes, with her weapon.
Yeah.
She also stabs him too.
She does, to try to get him to stop grabbing at the gun. She kind of gives him a little good poke in the ribs with her knife in there.
Yeah. And then she runs, once he's got the gun, he's got it pointed at her, she basically just runs off into the woods. Because he's being aggressive with the gun, but he hasn't shot. He's not going to shoot her yet. He just says like, stand right there and blah blah blah. And then she just ditches and runs. Andrew goes back inside with the gun now.
They're holding Leonard.
Yeah, they're kind of they're trying to take Leonard hostage basically, and that's when Sabrina comes running in through the side door to try and attack him from behind.
Yeah.
He turns and shoots her. Right, that's her death.
There's one little scene where I think it's Eric, Leonard, and Andrew are all kind of wrestling. I think it's Andrew that tries to grab at Leonard. Just fucking gets chopped across the ring.
Yes.
I love it.
You wrestle Batista.
That fits into the window thing after, because that window, I was like, he didn't go with that fucking window.
No, I fucking laughed, and that's exactly what I said. I said, fucking Batista did not make it.
I'm like, maybe I did go to that window, but Batista's like two of me.
Yeah.
So,
Which is like also a great scene.
If you were to go through the window wouldn't just be the glass rubber. It'd be the entire
Always
place
just
gone.
smash out. Yeah.
he'd be cool, just Kool-Aid Man did.
But I like that because this is right on the tails of all that. It's when Andrew's got the gun and he's going in to clear the bathroom and he's not sure if
he's in there.
If Leonard got out or not. And so he thinks he's in the tub and shoots at the shower curtain and nothing, right? No movement. And then he gets a little closer and that's where Leonard gets out and jumps and grabs him.
Well, with all that muscle, you wouldn't feel that. This goes to
Sound, yeah. And then just fucking tackles him down. I love that.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that detail. I thought he just missed.
No, he fucking nailed him. Just Leonard didn't make a sound.
Wow.
Yeah, I love that shit.
Yeah, so I mean, that's probably the next in that place to go. This is like the chaos of like, oh shit, they're fighting back. The classic
This is sort of the height.
turning horses. Yeah, the turning point of the movie where they're fighting back and he's the killers now. Yeah. And now they sort of got the upper hand.
For a moment, anyway.
Yeah. So Leonard jumps them, and they manage to eventually. He gets the weapon from them too.
Yeah.
and then he still decides to go outside and kill
Yes,
himself.
he's gets it all back under control, but and I think they flipped the TV on too. So now that Sabrina's also bit the dust,
So we can see the planes are falling.
planes are falling from the sky.
I say like 700 planes have fallen from the sky globally.
Right, it's global tragedy. It says on the news.
Andrew also like makes the comment like, oh, that could just be a cyber attack.
Right, he's still thinking. He
does it.
What are actually true? An EMP.
It would do
Good, can have that effect.
easily. Even just electromagnetic fields in the air could make that happen if they were powerful enough with the power of God.
5G coming soon. 5G. Yeah.
Leonard's got it back under control, but they say no again, and then
Leonard says,
Leonard's coming. Leonard's like, "Well, time to cut my throat." But and again, I'll send you guys the cachet scene,
sure,
just so you can see that.
just to see the difference.
Like that's a throat cut.
And it's like, if M. Night doesn't want to get nasty with it, he doesn't have to. But paint the front of his shirt red. This guy just cut his fucking throat.
Even don't even show it. Yeah, even don't even show the cut. Just show the blood shooting. You know, something like if you really wanted to do a more subdued way, to see the blood hit the fucking wall behind them.
That would be great, but you don't even have to go that far. Just paint the guy's shirt red. He should be fucking covered in blood.
This is actually a problem that his movie The Happening had too, because that's the one about people who were like all killing themselves globally. All the deaths are very toothless. John Leguizamo cuts his fucking wrist in the middle of the street, and it doesn't feel.
I think that's sort of just his choice. I think maybe he's just not that guy, and he doesn't want to get all nasty.
He's not Tarantino painting the walls.
If anything, maybe he just doesn't want to put a lot of blood and gore in his movies because it's pretty consistent across the board. Imagine if Split had blood. Imagine if The Beast was able to fucking tear people's heads off or something. You know what I mean? Imagine the different movie he would make.
I'd like to see some Dust Till Dawn ripping someone's art, beating them to death with it.
I want to see metal bands playing body guitars.
Back to this movie. So yeah, Leonard is dead, and now they're at the moment where they have to make the choice. Andrew, is still very skeptical. He still thinks it's bullshit, and he doubles down by saying, even if it is true, fuck this world.
Yeah.
This world's been nothing but like mean and nasty to us. We don't have to save this fucking world. We can just live out here in the woods like we've been doing. And he's like, we don't like, yeah, it's like, it doesn't even have to affect us.
We don't owe them anything.
Yeah, fuck those people. But Eric turns around him and says, is starting to take the tack of like, I think he mentions their daughter and like that there's kids like that around, or
Yeah, like it goes.
Leonard introduces that idea earlier, and so does Adrian. Children, I believe the children are our future.
Right.
I don't know.
Somebody please think of the children.
Yeah, but that's sort of like the innocence of children and the goodness of humanity.
Eric says to Andrew that he sees a vision of Andrew and Wen in the future, and she's got a law office, which also we skipped over that Andrew was an attorney, human rights attorney. So he was like, that's why he was able to like, oh no, this is real. They're looking at their watches and all this stuff, and it's all programmed.
It's also what Eric says to him at the end is like, you became a human rights advocate because you care about this. Mm-hmm. You care about the people being mistreated in the world. You care about human rights.
Yeah.
So don't try and tell me that fuck this whole world or whatever.
But here's only that guy.
Yeah, you're not that guy anyway. Yeah. You might be trying to be that guy. Right, makes you feel strong, but
that's not you.
Yeah. Ultimately, it comes down to a gunshot is heard in the distance. They tell Wen to go hide in the treehouse. Because this is the delivery of why she's out in that place, so that it can be left open which one's going to come in and come get her. It's pretty clear, I think.
Yeah.
I was kind of expecting it to go that way the whole time.
Me too.
In the book, I believe Wen is accidentally shot during the struggle.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, well, that would be one hell of a story.
So at the end of the book is they leave, and they said she was killed by accident. We didn't make a choice.
Oh.
Is what the one guy's saying, and then the other one says that that's not good enough for God. Fuck it.
Damn.
Yeah, that's the ending. I think
That word really fucking dark.
I think that's a little stronger. I think that's a bit stronger. I think again, Shyamalan just doesn't have the balls.
I don't want to offend the dude if he's listening.
To go
feel out of your brother. That's deep. That's heavy. And had he, this movie may have been just a little bit better. I imagine the punch at the end.
Yeah, I could have jumped it up a half star for sure.
Easily. A little more punch at the end would have made this a hell of a movie.
What's what the whole movie needs? It's just lacking. As like I said, it's toothless.
It is. See, even its ending, to call it toothless is perfect. The ending is an ending, but it lacks a punch.
And it doesn't really and that basically gets us to the end of the movie.
We're there.
Yeah, so Eric is dead.
Yeah.
Andrew takes Gwen, drives back to town. They go to a diner where they see that it is indeed really happening.
But it's over.
Yeah. So like it wasn't just a trick.
No. It's still all the news and people are watching it, but the planes are landing, the frogs have disappeared, the locusts have cleared from the sky.
Yeah, your firstborn son is safe.
Yeah. No blood in the rivers.
That's basically like they're both kind of like, well, I think that's just to show the audience, hey, stupids, and it was real.
Yeah.
So just in case some people were still like, well, what if? But then, yeah, they're in the car, and the song they had been singing when they drove out, comes on, and it's like, is this a sign from God or whatever too, or some sort of divine intervention, or what's his name from the afterlife, or whatever,
Or just,
or is it just a coincidence?
it's just a coincidence. It's just a really cheery song for what they've just gone through, and they kind of toy with turning it off, turning it on. Like, are they ready for that? Penny pop music, and
The way I kind of interpret it, being a very not religious person, is that is maybe him, like Eric, look like, oh yeah, I'm fine, I'm dead, but I'm fine.
Yeah.
And then him turning it off, and then her turning it back on, and then her turning it off, and because they had a fun time on the car ride up, and they showed them like singing along and having a fun time.
I think the juxtaposition there is supposed to be like him saying this is inappropriate, and then her saying this makes me think of Dad.
yeah, exactly.
It's like kind of, they're trying to wordlessly kind of have a conversation.
That's it.
Turning the button off.
That's exactly what it is.
Well, all these events that just occur in front of us, like this one happy song, should we listen to it? Should we not listen to it?
Isn't appropriate.
Yeah, and like little kid watched 4 people get, or well, 3 because
She was in the room.
she was
Again, I think that would have given the movie more gravitas if they actually made her watch.
Yeah, she was-
I don't know if that like how that would work for the movie, if that would work, but I think it would. I think it would make it more intense and more serious. Again, that just maybe Shyamalan's like, that's too much.
I think that's
And maybe it is too much even.
It would have been. I mean, you could have played her because she's, as a character, she's not in the movie all that much. But then to use the child character as your access point to show violence and gore and that gratuity and that stuff, to use that as your access point to give it a little more weight is, I could see him thinking maybe that's cheap.
Well, and
it was a cheap way.
Andrew, it would depend on the execution.
Because then it would put a lot more stress on her as an actor. Not like she would believe that it was real.
No,
but she has to go to a much darker place as an actor.
And as someone who seems to be adverse to showing too much violence in his movies, I think putting a child actor in that position is probably just something he didn't want to do.
Yeah, I think that's probably true too. I think there's another version of this movie out there that was made by like Robert Eggers or one of those guys.
Like a grittier version.
Yeah, grittier.
Flanagan would do a good job.
Flanagan
would be good.
Flanagan would sell it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not to disparage M. Night. I'm a big fan of the guy. I like a lot of his movies. I mean, we're kind of in final thoughts territory here a little bit maybe, so I'll just spit mine out. I think I enjoy watching his movies and the way he presents them, and there's something to be said about the way that he's kind of become known as the guy with a shtick, the guy with a twist, that every movie of his is going to have a twist on its head or something.
This one doesn't really.
It doesn't really, but he's just played it differently. He's just kind of, he knows what people think of him in his movies, and I think he kind of just plays that as a twist, where he makes it a mystery without always having this crazy, ooh, what a twist at the end. Right twist. So he can give it the idea that there's going to be something different behind the motives of his characters and the story of his movie without making it a farce of some sort. Or
Contingent upon this big swing at the end.
Yes.
A swing away Billy, if you would.
Yeah, for sure. So he swings it that way. I'll leave that there for now.
Did you guys notice when, I think it's right after Adrian dies, that M. Night Shyamalan made his cameo, which he does in every
On the air fryer.
On the air fryer commercial,
Yeah.
commercial.
Yeah, that was one scene that actually made me laugh.
It's like, well, he has a very unique look to him. So even when he just tries to drop himself into the movie in the background, he's just such a unique look. It's like,
There he is. Yeah.
yeah. He says like if Matthew McGrory from fucking Devil's Rejects had been like, oh, so I just put myself in the movie, and that's how it's like, well, yeah, you're like fucking 8 feet tall though, so we see.
Sorry, we noticed you wait to it. Wait, Tarantino puts himself in pretty much all his projects too.
Did not put himself in?
He cameos in a lot of this stuff.
He's in Reservoir Dogs. He's in Pulp Fiction, Dust to Dawn, and
The name of the
Django Unchained. Oh, those are the ones that for sure he's in.
Interesting.
Is he not in Kill Bill?
I don't think so. I don't think he's in Kill Bill.
That's not got nothing to do with it. But
This is M. Night Shyamalan's movie. That's it. We're talking about M. Night. He's just like Tarantino again.
yes.
Right. So my final thoughts. I mean, I've been kind of layering it out as we did the episode, and I think the movie, as me and Kyle were saying at the beginning, I don't know what the point of this movie is. That's the main thing. Not that every movie has to have a point.
No, it's just
This movie feels like it's trying to say something, but it's like, what is it trying to say? Because like this is a unique concept for a movie, and it's very specific and very centered around faith and all these different things. And it's just like, okay, but what are you saying?
right. I mean, there's so much in here about, like you said, faith, distrust, loyalty, just faith in humanity, hatred, all these wonderful things. There's so much being talked about and shown and said.
But what is it saying?
What is the message? And I don't know if I got it. I don't know if there is one.
If there is one, I couldn't make heads or tails of it, because the movie they drive onto the highway and the movie ends, and I was just like, The Simpsons. Dad, what was the point of that story? I like stories.
And maybe it's that there's so much intrigue in it, but really it's quite a cut and dry movie.
And it's got it doesn't really have, I think maybe that's part of Shyamalan's thing though too, is like people are expecting the big punch at the end.
That's what I mean, and he subverts it by just tell the fucking story and finish.
He just finished the
That was the twist. That's what
That's probably
That's what I was.
is that there's no twist.
The twist is even in like what was the other one we've talked about with Hartnett?
The Trap, like his movie Trap.
Yeah, that was, Like even in that, there's a twist in that movie, but he's become known as the guy with the twist, so he just doesn't play to the twist anymore.
It's not as big of a twist. Yeah, anyway, that's my thoughts on it. I think it's a very competently well shot, well acted movie. I think from at least a quality perspective, the movie, like everything's there to make this a movie. I just don't think the story itself takes this. And maybe Shyamalan's, as I said, sort of. I like Shyamalan too, but I just think this was if there was a movie to really lean into the violence,
This would have
been the one to do it. This and The Happening would have been the ones to do it.
It could have pushed a little harder.
Because you're leaning it, like this is a horrific concept that is very violent and intense, and I think that just would have a little more punch if you felt that.
Couldn't agree more. Go ahead, Rick.
I was just gonna say I'm in the same boat as you guys with that, because it could have been a lot worse than they showed.
Right. Not that it matters what I think, but he is very talented, and I'm a big fan of his movies, and I think this is a good movie.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need a new director to make it great. It just could have punched a touch harder.
Yeah, I just think the reason you needed a different director is because the things we're talking about are just not things he would do.
Then that's true too. But also, like, the cast is so out there.
Yeah.
But so good.
Yeah.
Like
overall, this is there's nothing wrong with this movie. There's nothing that I look at, I'm like, that sucks.
and that's kind of the sad part, is there is nothing wrong with it.
It's just there are little things you could tweak here and there.
Yeah.
Like, as far as the story went, that was pretty much as crazy as it could get or whatever. But I think if you just tweaked a few things here and there, you could have come up with a 4-star or a 3-star movie.
And I know we talk about, or at least I talk about Rotten Tomatoes probably too much, but it's sitting at like a 60, I think I saw 65 or 60. So it's at a 67, and like you said, up to 4 stars. If it punched it a little harder, this is a movie that becomes quite memorable and hits into like that 80%.
Yeah, it might have actually been even more divisive if that was the case. But for me,
Fair point.
That's a better movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A movie that's a little less safe and a little more intense and brutal.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, honestly, couldn't agree more. Still a fan.
I didn't find this movie boring at all. Like I enjoyed what I watched. It's just it could have been, like you guys said, it could have punched through the wall.
Could have punched some holes. Hole puncher.
Just dude. I think we're all in agreement on that front anyway.
Solid.
Yeah, overall, a pretty good movie. I don't regret watching it. I just feel like there was a stronger movie in there.
Agreed.
In my opinion, I think even as we talked about the book's ending, I think about the stronger ending.
Honestly, even if you would have kept this as sort of PG as it is and just flubbed that in there at the end and left it, and I get he probably didn't want that as an ending because it's so dour, but it would have been a lot stronger.
There's ways to shoot kid deaths that aren't like so brutal. Like
Offsetting like he did the rest of.
What's that movie where the Pet Cemetery is a great example?
Oh, yeah.
Where the kid gets hit by the semi and you know that he's dead, but you don't really see him get hit. It kind of just...
Anyway, kid death, that's a tricky one in film for me.
yeah, it's the execution. Is you never know how to do that. But
That's touchy.
okay, well, with that resolved, we have to bounce it to this to that same man to tell us what movie we're watching next week.
Call the turtles because we're going to the sewers for Chud.
Chud. For the layman's out there, that is a cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller.
Dang, dog.
Yeah.
Not us.
No. Yeah.
Leave it at
Just do your own version of it. Just rot the actual, like,
only raw episodes.
Yes.
Okay, until next week when we're talking about Chud, we will see you in 7 days. And until then,
Keep your eyes open.
and we're out.